Hello, in this video I'm going to show you a different photo editor to the built-in ChromeOS photo editor, and the good thing is it's absolutely free to use, and I've used it and it's bug free. It's really good and it gives you a lot more options than the built-in photo editor does. So just to show you the built-in photo editor, if you go to the file manager, go to downloads, I'll put in an image here. Let me just get rid of these two here. Delete that one. I should delete them both at the same time, but there we go. So delete them two there. This is an original image here, okay, which I've just taken. And as you can see, this is the built-in image editor that you've got with the Chromebook. And you've got a few options here. You can crop the image if you want to. You can rescale the image, so that's changing the dimensions of the image. And you've got a few options here like lighting filters. You can do that, for example, to change a few things around like that. You can change that there. I'll discard the changes, and you've got a few options here where you can do things like that. Pretty basic stuff. It's okay, don't get me wrong, it's a built-in ChromeOS image editor, but it's pretty basic. It's nothing to shout about. So this image editor that I've now prefer to use is really good because, like I said, it's free to use and it's also made by Google, so you know that it's going to be secure. It's originally for Android, so it's been around for a while, but it was originally for Android, but because it was made by Google, they've obviously made it work really well with the Chromebook as well. So I'm going to show you now how to get that. So just go to the Play Store and then just put not now. This is a new account. I've just logged into this Chromebook, so it might come up with messages thinking I've not used it before. And then just type in Snapseed and hit return. And as you can see there, it's Google, so it's created by Google. It's got 100 million downloads because it's really good to use. And then just install that there. Wait for that to download. I'm doing this on a Chromebook, Acer CX5 Chromebook. You can use it on lots of different devices, shouldn't be a problem. Open that up. Now, as you can see here, this is what you get when you're using Android apps on your Chromebook. You've got it here as a tablet. I want to use it as full screen, so I'll just change that to resizable and then just put allow. And then I'm just going to maximize that so it's using the whole screen like that. Okay, so I'll put that one over there because we need to get to some of these here. So from here, you just click here and you just do allow for the first time, so you're giving access to your images. And this is the original image here. So I'm going to open up the original image, and that's the image I've just taken a while ago. And from here, you'll see straight away you've got some options down here. These are automated options, so you can just click them. Sometimes you get very subtle changes, but as you can see, that was quite a subtle change again. But if you go down, as you can see, that's a bit more of a change, and you've got some options down here that make them black and white as well, but nothing crazy. That's just the same as what you get with the built-in ChromeOS image editor. No big difference there. If you wanted to use them, for example, that change there, you just tick that there, or you press the X there. So we'll leave it as it is. So we'll tick that to say we want that. So that's that change. But then if we go to, that's this here. If you go to this one here in the middle, you'll see you've got lots of different options. And I've gone through some of these options, and I'm no image editing expert at all. So anyone who knows, who deals with images on a regular basis, will really appreciate these image options you've got. But I've had a play around, and they some of them are really good. So you've got tune image here, for example. And then from there, you'll see that it's got a brightness there. So it's automatically put onto brightness. But down here, you've got auto adjust, but you've also got an adjust. So if we click on adjust, it may not be the brightness, it might be something else you want to do. So then just click on, say, contrast, for example. And as you can see, it's moved it to contrast up the top here. Now I am doing this with a mouse, but you can obviously use this with your fingers because it is an Android app. So if you wanted to, you can do it with your fingers like that. But I'm doing it with a mouse because it's easy to show you where I am. So to change it, once you've chose contrast, you've got this line up here. You just simply left click on your mouse and just drag that way to increase the contrast, or you drag it the other way to decrease it like that. So you can do that, and again you could change this and put it to ambience, and you can see it's gone to ambience, and then you can change things like that. And again, if you don't want that, you can just press X, or you can press the tick there to keep that. Now go back to there, you'll see there's loads of options you've got, and some of them are really, really good. Perspective, for example, is great. If you click on there, and from here, you'll see down here, you've got tilt, you've got rotate, you've got scale, you've got free. You could use these here, so either with your hands here or just use your mouse. So if we click on that one and go like that, it changes the image like that, which is really good. So actually it's really, I like that. If we do tilt again, you could do that and change it like that. So that sort of image editing you just don't get with the ChromeOS built-in editor. So again, that's really nice. It's completely changed how it looks now. And then there's other things you can do. There's loads of things I would have a mess about. Selective's really good. Click on selective and then click on an area that you want it to be concentrated on. So for example, we could do a Chromebook here. Just click on there, and then it's got brightness here. I've not figured out whether you can change it from brightness on here. If you can, and you know how to, leave a comment and so other people know how to do it. So I've only been able to get it onto brightness, but so it's pinpointed there. Change your brightness up here, and you can see it's doing it around that area rather than the whole of the image. So that could be really useful depending on the type of image you're using, or you could darken that area as well. So that's really cool. So I'll leave it so it's a bit brighter like that, and then just do the tick there. And there's other options such as healing is really cool. Bearing in mind this on, if you do this with a photo of people as well, it made that some of the options here might be a lot more dramatic than they are with this image. So it's just about trial and error. But with healing is cool. So if we go into healing, for example, we could, first of all, what I'm going to do before we do that, I'm going to show you, I've done a lot of changes there. If you go up here and click there, if you do undo, it would just change the last thing I did. So that should be this brightness change here, like that. And then I could do it again, and it would undo it like that. So with image editing, it's always about trial and error, messing around to get something perfect. So you could do loads of little different changes. So it's good that you've got that. Or if you want to, you can revert it right back to what the original image was by clicking on revert. And you've got view edits as well there, and it shows you all the different edits you've got down here, which is really cool. And then you can delete that edit if you want to, or you can adjust that edit as well. So it's really, really good. I like that. That's great. But if we go down here, we can put the original like that, and it's put it back to the original. And then from there, go to there, and that's done that. So that's gone back to the original. You didn't have to do it that way. You could have done it where, let me just tune the image quickly just to show you. So if we've done that like that, and then tick that there, and then we did the perspective like that, completely changed it like that. If you wanted to, instead of just doing one undo, you could also just do the revert, and that also puts it back to the original image like that. All the changes will be lost. Tap revert to revert your image to its original state. Click on there and it takes it back. So it's really good. You've got a lot of options, which is really vital with image editing. The ChromeOS built-in image editor is just a basic image editor. It works fine for just doing the basics, but this is more in depth and it's free to use. So that's what I like. And with true image editing, you've got to have the option to be able to undo things, because sometimes it's trial and error. So you need that. Now I'm going to show you a few more. So healing is great. If you click on healing, for example, here, say if I wanted to just get rid of Asus there, just click over it like that. I'll left click and hold it down and it completely removes that Asus logo, which is great. And it's done it, you can't tell that that's happened. So that's really cool. I'm sure there's be a lot of reasons where you want to use that in an image as well. You could even just do, say, the Chrome logo and just leave Chromebook on there. Oh, that's not worked. Not sure why that's not worked. Let's do cross there. Let's do that again. Did when I did it earlier. Let's try it again. Healing. There we go, like that. So it's really good. It is, I do like that. That's a great little feature you've got there. So we keep that one. So we've got rid of the logo. Other ones you've got. Some of these are going to make sense to people maybe more than they make sense to me, because like I said, I'm not an image editor. If you are, great. If you're not, it's just a case of trial and error. But there are so many options. There's text as well. There's some of these are just for if you've got like a picture with people in them. So if you click on portrait, for example, it's looking for faces, so it can't find them. So there's a few options like that. But text as well is really cool. So you click on text and double tap here to change the text, but you've got lots of different options down here on the type of text you want. There's a few things I couldn't change with text. Now, if someone has a mess about and finds out how, great, just leave a comment so other people know. But the one thing I couldn't change, I prefer some of these up here. They're pretty cool. You just simply double tap on it. I'm just going to put in Chrome Computing, TV, like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could move that around like that there, and you could change the transparency, opacity, so like that, which is good. But you can also change the color as well, which is really nice. The one thing I couldn't work out was, can you change the text size? I don't think you can. And then I was thinking, could you change the actual the shape? But I couldn't do that either. So yeah, I'm not too sure on that, but it's still nice. I do like it, and you've got loads of different text options you can use. I just think they're really cool. They are really good. Considering it's free, it's got a lot more options than the normal ChromeOS editor. Now I'm going to show you some other things as well, so don't skip it too quick, because there's a few different ways it exports images, which is a bit strange. I've got my head around it in the end, but I didn't like how it did certain things, so I'll show you that. But I would definitely recommend giving all of these a try. Some of them are really subtle changes, which is exactly might be what you want, but there are so many more options on here that you've got, and it's bug free. I've not had any issues with it, which is really good. So the one thing I would say is this image size is pretty big, because I've taken it on my, it's not massive, I've reduced it a bit, but I took it on my phone. So if we just open it up in a normal image editor, you'll see that it's 4032 by 2268. So if I wanted to reduce that in Snapseed, there was no image changing the image dimensions in here, but what you do, it's in settings here. So you go to settings and click on settings like that. Let's move that over there. And you can see here image resizing. So you click on there, It doesn't unfortunately allow you to choose your pixels to resize, which is a real shame. I would have liked to be able to change that. And it doesn't clearly say what it's changing, but I'll show you that now. So if we put it as, say, 1366, that's done that. And here you can see also the format and quality. So it will either leave it on 95%, so it's slightly reducing the quality, not that you won't hardly see a change in quality on 95%, but if you don't want any quality change, just change that up to 100, or you've got PNG here as well, but we'll leave it on 95%, and then just go back there. So we've changed the image size there. If you go back, this is where I got a bit confused, and I understand it now, but I don't particularly like it. But you've got to bear in mind, this is made also for Android phones, which work differently to how Chromebooks work when it comes to looking for files. So if you click on here, the download option here, you've got save, create a copy of your photo. But that, it does it, but it only saves it with inside Snapseed. So for a while, I was looking at my downloads folder thinking, well, where is it? So for example, if I click on there now, photo saved, view, click on view, it will show you it, but I was like, I wanted to know where that image was, and it's not in here in the downloads folder, it's available inside Snapseed, which is fine, but if you want to use these images somewhere else, you need it to be in your downloads folder. You don't want it just inside Snapseed. So bearing in mind that one, that's all that does, and it's exactly the same with this one as well. This one quite misleading, which says export. So you would assume exporting is exporting outside of the program, but it doesn't appear to do that. So you click on export, again, photo save view. You can view the photo, and you can choose different ways of viewing it. So you could view it in photos, and there it is. And then I thought, oh, does that mean then it's in Google Photos? But then when you go to Google Photos, it wasn't in there either, but it is under library there under Snapseed. So it saves it inside Snapseed. So for example, if I clicked open here, you've got photos there. So you see the photos, and then it shows you that there's Snapseed, there's 12 items. You go into there, and then you choose the image that you want to work with, which is absolutely fine. But again, for me personally, I want the image so I can then use it elsewhere. So the only option that does that is this one here. So you click on there and you do export as, create a copy to a selected folder. And then as you can see, it's changed the name, original image, it's changed it to original image _ edited, which is good. You want it to change the name, you don't want it to overwrite the original. And then it's in the downloads folder, which is good. So click save there, like that. And then if you minimize that, you will see it in your downloads folder. And the reason you can see that it will be changed in the image size as well. So the original image size, if we go into the normal ChromeOS built-in editor, you'll see was 4032 by 2268. But remember, we changed the actual image dimension size inside Snapseed. If you open up the edited version, you'll see straight away that it looks smaller, but then if you click on there, you'll see here it's changed the dimension size here. So this is where it changes the dimension size there. I'm not sure why it's changed it to 1365. I don't think that was the option. Let's have a look. Settings, 1366. So for some reason it's done it 1 pixel off. I'm not sure why. It didn't do that with me earlier when I did it earlier. But as you can see, sort of if you change the image size on here, it's changing the horizontal. It's changing the width, not the height. And then obviously when you change the width, it will automatically change the height, so it keeps its aspect ratio. So that's how you change it. So yes, the exporting is a bit strange. I think with the phones you'd want to use that, but on here, for example, there's nothing here. You go into play files, it's nowhere inside here. The only way you can appear to get it is if you're inside Snapseed or even if you go into Google Photos, it shows it in library, and you can go that way. Just a bit strange, and that's just a backup of it as well, so it's backing up to Google Photos. So yeah, it's really good. I would definitely consider having a play around with it, because I do think that there's so many things you can do in here to change it. I've had a lot of different messing about with this, and I would recommend doing so. There's so much you can do. It's really, really good. And considering it's free and it works perfectly fine if you're using a mouse, and it also works perfectly fine if you've got a touch screen, because it's Android, it is definitely great. So I would definitely give that a try. It's much better than the built-in ChromeOS editor, the image editor, which is what you'd expect. I want to keep that lightweight, but if you want something with a few more options, give Snapseed a try. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like below and subscribe to the channel for future videos, and thanks for watching.